The algorithms on every single app, whether it be YouTube or Instagram or Reddit, they're all bombarding me with information that Legend ZA is the worst game ever made. People hate it. People think it's awful. I saw a reviewer say the graphics are from 2005. So clearly this game is bad, right? But it doesn't make sense that in my personal playthrough I have over 18 hours and on my streaming playthrough I have like 6 or 7 hours, and it's just been some of the most fun I've had playing the game. I've seen like a lot of like shorts and stuff complaining about the graphics, but I don't understand where that's coming from. I recorded a clip in my personal playthrough of when I got to the sewers part of this. It's a little spoilery. I don't think anything happens. Um, but this is not how things looked in 2005. Let's just call a spade here. This looks good. I mean, it's designed to be on both Switch 1 and Switch 2. It could look better, 100%, yeah, no question about it. But it's not like it looks bad. Now, I know where the complaint's coming from. It's coming from, like, the balconies and being flat images, right? But here's why they look like that. It's for gameplay. I don't know if people have gotten far enough in the game till they get the, I think they call it the roto dive, the roto something, essentially the double jump, right? Well, you can't have balconies in the way, otherwise you would soft lock the player by getting them trapped on these balconies everywhere they go. That's why they're flat. I don't like that decision personally. I'd rather you put a box around it, like a hitbox, so that you don't enter that area. But I understand why they didn't do it, because then you get into clipping and like probably getting out of bounds and stuff like that, and it gets too much. It's simpler to just make it flat. It does not look good. I'm not saying it does. It looks bad. It looks tacky. It looks like there wasn't a lot of effort put in. But it's not that it wasn't. I'm sure they tried. I'm sure they couldn't get it to work. Another thing people need to understand, they're like, oh, it's $1 billion company, whatever. They can do better than this. This is the B team that's making this game, right? This isn't the team that's making Gen 10. This isn't the team that made Scarlet and Violet. This isn't the team that made Sword and Shield. This is a separate team. It's a much smaller team with only a $20 million budget. This game is coming out around the same time as Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6 is getting a lot of rave reviews. You want to know what Battlefield 6's budget was? $400 million. $400 million. 20 times that. You can make Legends EA 20 times for one Battlefield 6. That's insane. The amount of money that's being poured into these things is crazy. But the amount of money that was put into ZA to keep it small, to keep it a tight-knit group, to keep it a more, controlled development experience. Because a lot of developers, I mean, everyone burns out their employees and stuff like that. So if you want to keep your team small, if you want to keep your team on a small budget so they have to get more creative, which I'm fine with, so be it. Another thing I've seen online, like I know PM7 had a tweet and someone responded and they said, there's nothing to do in the game. Have you not played the game, sir? There's a gigantic amount of side missions that I understand. They're not part of the main linear storyline. So they're called side missions and people go, oh, they're side quests. They're optional. But if you want to understand the entire story of what's happening in Lumio City and you understand the entire character and the character that is the city, you need to be doing the side missions. And there's so many of them. Some are like fetch quests. Some are just battle this person. But others are, hey, collect these specific Pokemon. I actually, because I didn't use any guides and stuff, I actually struggled with some, like getting all the different colored Flabebe. It had me running around the entire city looking for all the different colored Flabebe. I already had all the elemental monkeys, but imagine someone wasn't looking up and in the trees. Maybe they'd get frustrated because they're like, I don't know where to find these things. Well, pull your head up. I've seen people complain. I think I saw a post on Reddit where someone's like, oh, I went around the entire circumference of Lumio City in 7 minutes. Has no one noticed that it's like a maze once you're inside? It's very, very, very detailed. It's easy to get lost. Kind of like a real Paris or a real gigantic city is. This city has so much character, and I feel like people aren't getting it. Well, I feel like there's two categories here. There's people who are getting it and they're loving it. There's people who aren't spending time with it, and therefore are getting all frustrated and pissed off. And I understand, but you have to get out of your own way and play the video game, right? All you have to do is play the video game, and it'll show you its personality. Now, some people, they're never going to be happy. They're going to complain about everything, and that's okay. Those people, that's why they do that. They're on the internet because, well, no one wants to talk to them. So all they do is lash out and complain like a toddler would. And I kind of throw those things out, right? Those people don't and shouldn't really affect your enjoyment of the game or whatever, or anything like that. But there's a couple things that are bothering me. I watched a reviewer, I think his name was like Switch Up or something like that, and he's the one who had the graphics from 2005 comment. I have a specific problem with that because as a video game journalist, you have a moral obligation to tell the truth about these video games so that people can have an opinion on these games. Like, some people make their decision on whether to buy the game on what the journalist says. Sometimes I do that, and I was looking at these reviews beforehand just to see what the general, like, what's the vibe everyone's got. I'd seen some clips of some people I follow, like Greg Miller. He loved it. Tim Geddes on Kinda Funny, he also liked it. I'm pretty sure I saw something from IGN. Some of the hosts there really liked it, and I'm like, okay, cool, that's the vibe. And yet, all I see now is, like, some guys, like, I saw this one video recommending that's ZA is an overpriced disaster, and it's Miyamoto with, like, dollar signs in his eyes and stuff like that. And it's like, but are you guys playing the game? Because that's not what I'm getting from it. I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot of anger and hate. And the Smith Plays Pokemon had a great way of putting it. And he said, ever since Sword and Shield, ever since we've gone from a handheld game to the Switch, which I call it a hybrid console. Some people call it a home console. It's whatever you want to call it. People have just been pissed off about Pokemon. It's not meeting their expectations. It's not doing this. And that's just the truth. That's just how things have been ever since Sword and Shield. He's absolutely right. And again, I have never understood the hate for those games. Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet to an extent should have run better on the Switch one. I agree. But to just lash out all the time because your expectations are crazy, I don't think that's the right way to do it. Some people are like, they're like, I like the game, I have some hang-ups about it. That's perfect. That's the perfect attitude to have about it. That's how I am about this game. I'm loving the gameplay and loving the experience of just catching Pokemon and doing this, having fun, having whimsy, right? And yet, I see the problems. But to call it an overpriced piece of garbage, oh my god, Miyamoto is scamming me. It's insane, right? That's not how adults act either. Speaking of adults, let's keep in mind who this game is made for. Pokemon's for the kids, guys. To me, this is like getting mad about Bluey and the script issues that you have there. It's not made for you as an adult. It's made for, well, it's made for everyone, right? But it's specifically designed so that kids can play this game, right? You're getting mad at a kid's property for all intents and purposes. And here's my favorite part about all this. People are like, oh my god, I hate it. I hate that I'm playing this game. So stop playing the game. Go get your refund. You can take your game back to GameStop and go sell it, or whatever your regional game store is. And some people are like, oh, I only buy digital. Well, you have a certain time frame for your refund, right? So exercise that right. It's one thing to complain, and if you don't like the game and return it, my hat is off to you. That is what you're supposed to be doing as a consumer. You're using your wallet to voice your opinion about the game. Excellent. Thumbs up. So good. Like, keep doing that. This game isn't meant for you. Perfect. Get your money back, voice your frustrations, and move on with your life. But all these, like, tweets and stuff, and people are tweeting at, like, PM7 and stuff about, like, oh, I was so bored in the game. Okay, man. Mr. PM7 doesn't care. I'm sorry. These people don't care about you. You know who does care? You do. You care about yourself. So take care of yourself. Go get your $60 back. Cancel your pre-order for the DLC if you did it. And call it a day. You don't need to be making these insane accusations of it's overpriced garbage. It doesn't do anything. It's the worst game, sir. It's got graphics from 2005. You don't need to do that, right? You just don't. I remember the games of 2005. You know what came out in 2005? Here, Call of Duty 2. Game looks like hot garbage nowadays. You know what else came out in 2005? I'm pretty sure Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out in 2005. Either that or Battlefront 1. That game looked, I mean, at the time it looked amazing, but if you compare it to today, compare it to Legends EA, I mean, it's literally an apples and oranges situation. One is an apple, one is an orange. I think people also need to take their time and understand that the city itself is the main character, right? The city and what's happening to it, that is the story, that's the character. And listen to the story. Because it's really interesting so far, right? Pokemon's done a good job of characterizing the cities in the past. Like, I could play certain themes, and you know what towns they are. I can show you images, you know exactly where it is. I can show you one image, and you get PTSD from Black and White. And that's cool. That's the magic of it. I think it's also just the cyclical nature of how Pokemon fans react. They just assume the newest game's the worst one, and then 3 years later, we start seeing the video essays of being like, hey, this game was pretty good. I mean, I've already seen it with Sword and Shield, where people are like, hey, this game wasn't all that bad. And it's like, yeah, I knew that playing it. I mean, people, the mob that is the internet just decided that it sucked at the time. And that's okay. I knew I was right. That's all I need. I think the most frustration I have is that people are gatekeeping enjoyment of others. And that's not cool, right? You don't need to voice all this stuff on Twitter. You don't need to use all this harsh language, stuff like that. You absolutely need to be constructive and criticize in a constructive way. Yes. That's how we get better things. That's how games get better. This reminds me a lot of like No Man's Sky. The game was hot garbage when it came out. And then they listened to the community. What did the community want? They changed the now it's an amazing game. I play it now. I bought it when it first came out. I never refunded it, but I probably should have, but alas, here we are. But that's what good constructive criticism does. It creates a better game for everyone involved. But to just throw these things, I mean literally that data gets thrown out. Let's call it how it is. You are now lumping your opinion in with what is considered garbage data from like internet trolls and bot farms and stuff like that, and then it's never going to get fixed. But if you're eloquent, you speak your mind, and voice your opinion in a constructive way, you're going to get listened to. That's just how it is. Some things aren't. Like the voice acting. People are like, oh, I want voice acting. Come on. Well, they've already said that they're not going to do that because they want the player to read it in their own voice. They want everyone to be the main character. And like, yeah, that's their decision as the art. They're the artist. We're just consuming their art. That's the artist's decision. It's up to us whether we want to consume their art that way or whether we just don't give them our money. That's simple. It's just so disheartening to see something I like it's just a rage fest everywhere you look, and people are yelling. Literally, in the YouTube shorts, they're yelling. And it's like, just shut up and refund your game, man. If you can't adapt to the new controls, you think they're clunky. If you can't adapt to, oh my god, I'm only in one city, this is so bad, without understanding how vast that city is. If you can't adapt from your Scarlet and Violet sandwich making ways, then don't. Go return your game. Sit down, shut up. My mom always taught me, if you don't have something nice to say, you don't say it at all. Practice that, y'all. I think like the feather in the cap of all this is, I'll put the tweet up on the screen, but it was just this person who had a very simple explanation of like, hey, I think people are outgrowing these games and they're lashing out because these games aren't designed or catered to them. And I think that's true. And I think in combination with the Smith Plays Pokemon commentary, he said that this backlash has been going on since Sword and Shield, and I think that's also true. And I think that that's kind of where we can pinpoint this is where people got grown, so to say. But there's also this other comment on that tweet specifically where someone goes, "No, you just don't care like I do." And I just gotta say, that's the stupidest take I've ever heard. And that really has like put like that's what made me finally not care anymore about this situation. And eventually I did stop caring. I just have all this audio and I'm gonna put it out because why not? I put all the effort in, you might as well, right? Because it's really silly to say, well, I'm gonna throw a temper tantrum and you're not. So therefore you're less of a fan than I am and I'm better than you. That is insanity. And it made me realize who we're dealing with. And it's fake people. It's fake fans. And so I kind of no longer care after seeing that. I'm just like, all right, well, I really enjoyed this game. Everyone's overreacting, but that's just the amount of fake people. And that's okay. And I'm tired of it. So we're just going to ignore all the fake fans. And again, people who are constructively criticizing, they're absolutely the real fans. They love it. People who enjoy the game, they love it. People who stomp their feet, people who make these outrageous claims that it's an overpriced disaster, they're all just fake people on the internet. They're all just private profiles. It's all just fake. And I no longer care. So I'm free. So anyways, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Check out all the links below. And yeah, go ahead and leave a comment. I'm not even going to check it.